What's up, guys? It's your boy Kazaris, and today I am bringing you my in-paper Gishki Spright deck profile. I got all the cards today at the sneak peek. Very easy to obtain. They're just commons, and the rituals are super rare. I mean, of course, the Spright card's a little bit more difficult to obtain, but overall, it should be pretty accessible for most people. It's not terribly budget, but it's not anywhere near the level of PHHY. So I've been really liking it. I've been really enjoying it. I've just been testing it a lot, and I wanted to bring you guys my profile. It's a little bit different than my DB1 that I showed you a couple weeks ago. So starting off, we have the Gishki cards. 2 Gishki Neromanos. This is a new card, so it can ritual summon with any Gishki ritual spell. If it's ritual summoned, you can target a water monster in your graveyard and special summon it, so it can reborn things like Swap Frog, Toad, or any of the Gishkis to trigger their effects again, like Abyss. It cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster special summon from the extra deck, so you can crash it into PHHY or Rise Heart. Theirs will die and yours will not, assuming they don't have the ability to quick effect banish you face down. Relevant there for sure. It can crash into Roll Callous if they don't have Planet, or Collider Heart if they don't have Planet, etc. So 3k and not dying in battle with the monster from the extra deck is definitely relevant. And then the best effect is once per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect. Quick effect, you can return 1 Gishki ritual monster you control to the hand, and if you do, negate the activation, and if you do that, shuffle it into the deck. So you can negate any tier monster without fear of triggering its effect in the graveyard, because you'll be shuffled into the deck. You'll return this to the hand, allowing you to ritual summon it again on the next turn and keep it going, because it'll reborn something again. Definitely a very cool card. Definitely the best ritual monster for sure. None of them even closely compare. I mean, some are worth playing. I'm side decking Zealgigus, which I will explain in a bit, but definitely the best one. 3 Gishki Grimness. This is the other card, a common. This is the Deep Sea Diva for the deck. If it's summoned, normal or special, you can special a Gishki monster from your deck, and then you can only declare attacks with ritual monsters. Kind of relevant going second, you need to pay attention to that, but going first, that doesn't really matter because you're just making your board and then passing to your opponent. It can also be treated as the entire ritual requirement for the ritual summon of a water monster. Definitely very cool. And then the monster you're going to be summoning with Grimness is 3 Gishki Abyss. If it's summoned, you can add to your hand a Gishki monster with 1,000 defense or less from your deck. Not once per turn. Very, very good card. The cards you will be adding are your 3 Gishki Vision. You can discard it to add a Gishki ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Notably, it does not have to go to the graveyard, so you can play under PHHY or Rise Heart. So you can discard Vision, add Neromanos, discard Shadow. I don't believe this has to the grave. Good. Nope. Discard Shadow, add something like Photo to freely summon the Neromanos, and then crash with what's it called? A Rise Heart. Assuming they didn't entirely lock your zones. If you have it out to the Shangri-Ra, you can then summon the Neromanos, crash with a Rise Heart. So, I mean, things have to go right, but that board is kind of difficult to break. That's why side decking is going to help for sure. So 3 Gishki Vision. I'm debating playing 2 just to make room for a little bit more defensive cards, because ultimately, like, you have 3 of this, 3 Grimness to get 3 Abyss, which gets you your Vision, and then you have 3 of the new focused Aqua Mirror to add any of these as well. So you really have like 11 Vision. I'm playing 2 Shadow because searching the ritual spells isn't as great as searching the monsters. But ultimately, like, you want the same number of ritual monsters and spells. So maybe this will get cut. I'm not sure. I had to do a little bit more testing, but at least 2 Vision. I think 3 is correct, but we'll see. So Shadow discards itself to add the ritual spells. 3 of the new focused Aqua Mirror. So this is a not once per turn Rhoda. Let's just, yep. So add 1 Gishki monster from your deck to your hand. Does not say once per turn. It says once per turn, but it says this effect, which is referring to during the end phase. If you control a water ritual monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, set 1 Aqua Mirror spell or trap directly from your deck or graveyard, except focused Aqua Mirror. You can only use this effect of focused Aqua Mirror once per turn. So this is a not once per turn Rhoda for the deck. Add any Gishki monster from your deck to your hand, which is any of these. The spells, we have 1 Aqua Mirror. So this is just a standard ritual card. Majority of the time, you're going to be tributing Vision or Shadow or Grimness for the entire requirement. Or if you have 2 Neromanos in hand, you can tribute 1, summon the other. And then its other effect is it can return itself to the deck to return a ritual monster, Gishki ritual monster in your graveyard to your hand. So if you tribute one Neromanus for the other, you can put Aqua Mirror back to add the Neromanus back to your hand. So that's pretty free. And Photon Mirror, so this card can ritual summon any Gishki ritual monster, but you pay life equal to the level of the ritual summon monster times 500. So you're paying 5,000 life to summon Neromanus, a very steep cost, but it lets you summon it for free, basically. So you go -1 for the Photon Mirror, you summon Neromanus from your hand, it summons back a Gishki from the grave. You go even in card advantage, and if you summon Abyss, you trigger Abyss. If you summon Swap Frog, you trigger Swap Frog, etc. If you summon Toad after going first and then passing back to your turn, that's pretty neat as well. I was for a little bit playing the Aqua Mirror Illusion in the main deck, because if you resolve focused Aqua Mirror, you can banish this from your graveyard to set Aqua Mirror Illusion from your deck, which can then special summon a Gishki ritual monster from your hand. So on the opponent's turn, after you resolve Neromanus to bounce itself and negate something, you can then use Aqua Mirror Illusion to resummon the Neromanus from your hand. I consider this to be win more, and what I mean by win more, for those who don't know, is it makes your good hands better and your bad hands worse. So if you draw this and you're not able to play this, and like what this could have helped, it really just makes the bad hands worse. Drawing this at all isn't good, but like if you're able to play and have this, that's cool. But like really what you want to do is like have this Rhoda in your hand and then banish it to set this. But like I don't play Prosperity, because Cashier is banishing from the extra deck a lot, and I don't want to then banish more and trigger them that way. So I'm not playing Prosperity, so like I'm not going to see this a ton, and I don't think playing the one of this for the one of the three of this is great. It makes your end boards better, but I just would rather play better cards overall, more defensive cards. So those are the Gishki cards: 5 spells, 6, 12, 14 monsters, so 19 cards overall. I might again cut the vision down to 2, but that's to be determined. Onto the Spright cards. We have 3 Spright Blue, pretty standard, 3 Spright Jet, and then 1 red, 1 carrot, and I am playing the 1 Pixies. Because you drop yourself so low in life, if you resolve Photon Mirror, you go to 3K, and then if you resolve Starter for blue, you go to 1900. So like any big monster can just like attack over your weak guys. Like if there's someone 2 big monsters and attack over Elf and Toad, you can just lose. So having Elf being able to bring back blue to add Pixies to protect your weak monsters is definitely needed in this deck, I think. I could be wrong. I mean, worst case, it's a level 2 extender, but I think Pixies is correct. Just being able to search it is really nice. 3 Spright Starter, of course, it's a very good card. 1 Spright Smashers, just searchable interruption off Jet if you already have Starter, or if you don't want to pay the life. I am playing the Double Cross. I know I just explained Aqua Mirror Illusion is a bit win more also, but Aqua Mirror Illusion is only accessible through the Gishki search spell. Double Cross is accessible through blue to get Jet to get it, or Starter to get blue to get Jet to get it. So it's much more accessible. You're going to see it more often. And going second is a little bit more useful. It's like not the best going second, obviously it's better going first, but going second you can still target, like make a ranked 2 or a link 2 and then take their monster on their one that passes back to their turn. So it's still decent, and it makes your going first board like really good. Just being able to take something from their field or from their graveyard to like as a DD Crow is really strong. But again, I could maybe cut this and the vision for like 2 talent or something. I'm still deciding. But that's the Spright engine. The Gishkis are level 2s, therefore the Sprights work with them. 2 Swap Frog. I got my second ulti coming in the mail from Chris Lofton. Shout out to him. And on to the defensive cards. So 3 Infinite Impermanence. Best hand trap at the moment. Doesn't play into the new Triple Tactics Thrusts, or it doesn't play into Talent. Stops Kit. Stops Arise Heart, etc. Very, very good card. And then a new card, or not a new card, not new at all. A card that I want to try out in the tech slot is Book of Moon. So going second, you can book Kshatri or Shangri-Ra. Face down, unlock your zones. You can book Arise Heart. You can book Rule Kalos if Elf isn't targeting it. And it just seems like a good, or you can book Statue, you can book M-Pen. It just seems like a good overall solid 1-for-1 that is also good going first and doesn't play into Talent or Thrusts. So I think this, like Eclipse is great, don't get me wrong. because it gets everything. But like going first, if I set Eclipse and then flip it, it books my monsters face down, and then it books my opponent's monsters face down, but then they draw at the end phase. So if I'm not able to kill them, they get a ton of advantage off of all of the cards that are flip face up. So like in the main, I think Book of Moons seems like very solid. It's still to be determined. And like, so like there's only room for 6. So like, that's why I kind of want to play that's 40. That's why I want to kind of cut to the 1 Visions, and then maybe the double cross to play 2 talent in the main deck. I'm not sure yet. As for the extra deck, some solid rank 2s. Dark is still solid, I think. Cerberus is good for answering Baguska. IP into Avermax is still very solid. Avermax is still a crazy card, for sure. And then the 3 Elf and the 1 Sprind. The Sprind doesn't get a ton of value in this deck because I'm not playing the Anglers, because you want your normal summons to be Grimness and Abyss. More often than not, you have 9 of them. And the deck's already 40. Like if I were to put in the Nimbles and keep it that low, I have to cut the Imperms and the Book of Moons to like, and then it's just all engine. So I don't think this is correct. More often than not, this is just gonna be like a bait card for Castillo players to banish off of Unicorn. They're like, oh, I've banished the Sprind because banishing is one of his 3 elves doesn't do anything. So they banished this when in reality, like I wasn't gonna get a ton of value off it anyway. 2 Gigantic Spright. I might need to play 3 because if they go Unicorn, Banish Gigantic, and Diablosis, Banish Gigantic, then I don't have any. So I might need to play 3. Toad, of course. I have Mannequin in here still. I'm not sure if I want to go into the side deck with like Testudo, Arat, Newman, and Thunder King Ryo and stuff like that. End of Anubis. This is definitely easily cuttable. And then Centauria into Zeus. I think I want to cut this for Mosquito into Zeus though, because Mosquito definitely seems way better. And again, like this isn't everything, so maybe a second Zeus could be good. Maybe Phoenix could be good as well. Definitely some options there, some things to consider. But this is just like a standard, like definitely these 12 at least, and then maybe a 3rd Gigantic, a Mosquito that's 14, and then like a Phoenix that's 15. I'm not entirely sure, but so that's the main deck. But the extra deck, let's show off exactly what I'll show you what just the focused Aquamirror does. It's kind of crazy. So you activate this, you're going to add a Gishki monster from your deck to your hand. It's going to be the new Gishki Grimness. You're going to summon Grimness. Grimness effect is going to summon Abyss. Abyss is going to trigger. Add either Shadow or Vision. It does not matter, because you're going to then link Grimness and Abyss off into Elf, which will then, Elf effect is going to reborn the Abyss. Trigger Abyss, add either, since I added Shadow, going to add Vision. Now I can discard Vision and Shadow to add a monster and spell respectively. So I'll add Neremanus, and I will add, in this case, Photomirror. I'm going to activate Photomirror, pay 5,000 life to summon the Neremanus to the zone Elf is pointed to so that they can't negate it. Effect is going to reborn Vision, which is level 2, which is important because I can then use Vision and Abyss for Gigantic Spright. Gigantic Spright effect is going to detach, doesn't matter, probably Abyss just in case I want to bring it back or something, to summon the Swap Frog. Or sorry, in this case I'm going to summon Blue because I already used Elf to reborn. So Blue is going to search Jet, etc., etc. Jet is going to grab, it can grab Starter, or my favorite card to grab is Double Cross going first. And then you're going to overlay. You can overlay the Jet and the Blue for Djinn Buster. Oh, that's another card that I forgot. My friend is borrowing Djinn Buster. I forgot to mention that. So Djinn Buster is good. Or alternatively, you can link a Jet and a Gigantic for IP. You can go like IP into Unicorn or IP into Avermax. That is solid. But yeah, overall, like just the ritual. You still have 4 other cards in hand, so just the rituals, the search, Gishki search spell can do this, which is absolutely crazy. If you have, you can do sometimes end on double Neremanus. You have like, so you have the ritual spell or the search spell. It doesn't even have to be the search spell. Like say you have like Grimness already, and you have like 2 Gishki pieces. Like say you have Grimness, Vision, and Shadow already. So you can go Grimness, grab Abyss, grab another Vision, You can send these to the grave, grab double Neuromanus. Send this to the grave, grab Aquamirror. And now it's because you have like all this material, Aquamirror can distribute one Neuromanus. Oh, sorry, you can link these off first. You can go into Elf, and now Aquamirror contribute one Neuromanus to summon the other. This one can summon back Abyss. Abyss can add Photo or add another Shadow. And then you can go Shadow, discard to add the Photomirror to hand. You can return Aquamirror to the deck to add Neuromanus to your hand again. And now you can go Photomirror, pay 5,000, summon this Neuromanus effect, bring back Grimness. And now you still haven't used Elf effect yet. So you can overlay for Gigantic. And then this can go into blue if you want that, or you can go into Swap Frog. Swap Frog can dump a second Swap Frog, Elf can bring it back. You can overlay for Toad. And that was just like, and you still have two other cards in hand, so like if you had a, oh that's not Toad. If you had a Spright in hand, you can go like blue into Elf, or blue, yeah, stuff like that. Summon, or like summon Jet, add back row. Like this is kind of wild. This is a negate, negate, negate. This can bring back Toad for another negate. Kind of crazy. So like the more material you have, the bigger your board can get. But just the Rhoda is pretty wild, or just Grimness on its own, honestly, because the Rhoda was just getting Grimness. And then end phase you can banish the Rhoda to set the, like you still have a target for the Rhoda to set, which is the Aquamirror, wherever I put that. I'm not sure, I think I shoved it back. Yeah, you can still set the Aquamirror. It's like, it's not the best set, but it's still advantage to get. Whereas the trap actually does something. I just don't. Aquamirror always does something as long as I have access to my Gishki engine. The trap is just kind of dead material. If I don't have access, then the trap really doesn't do anything. So going second, you can side, or yeah, post side deck, you can side out one Neuromanus for a Zealgigas, and one Photomirror for the Necromirror. It's called an Ice Mirror. It's called Necromirror. Because you don't play both, because if you resolve Necromirror to summon a Neuromanus, you take 3,000. If you resolve Photomirror to summon a Neuromanus, you take 5,000. So that's 8,000 damage, so you lose. You can't resolve both of these in the same duel. So going second, you can just side out the Photomirror for the Necromirror, which allows you to tribute your opponent's monster as the entire requirement. And you summon Zealgigas. This can pay 1,000 to draw a card. If it's a Gishki monster, you can reveal it and shuffle one card you put on the field into the deck. Well, you have to reveal it and shuffle one card on the field into the deck, which is why it's not good going first, because if you pay 1,000 to draw and you do hit a Gishki monster, you have to shuffle something. But going second, it's 3,200. You're tributing one opponent's monster, and then you have the potential to shuffle another card. So this is definitely worth it, and you still have access to the one Neuromanus that you keep in. And it's a level 10, so that's good as well. Even like playing Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon is a potential, but I don't want to play it because like to get both of these on the field, I have to pay 5,000, and I'm burning them for 2,000 doesn't win me the game in time still. So like it's not worth playing Red Resonator. It's not worth playing any of that because like, you're not going to win in time, almost always. So you gotta play quick. Gotta make sure your opponent's playing quick, but like it's definitely doable. So that's a deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you all in the next one. Enjoy your coffees. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.